Everybody, Scott Lett here, owner of Pro Exterior Cleaning. I'm about to do some maintenance on my water cannon, 4 gallon per minute, 4,000 psi belt dry power washer. It's got a Honda GX390 engine, and it's got a cat pump. It's hard to beat these cat pumps, but to increase the longevity of anything, you have to maintain it. You have to make sure the oil is properly changed in a proper amount of time. I try to change my oil for my engines and pumps once a month, especially during the summer when I'm really busy. So just kind of show you what all I use to do this. So as you can tell, these black hoses, which are really nice, are connected to the plug where the oil drains out. So I'll just take this nut off, and I have some empty jugs here, and the oil will just kind of fill up this jug. The old oil will. So that's what I do for the pump oil. And then the same thing back here. There's the plug right there, but you have the hoses that kind of come down, and I'll use this to fill it up. So the tornado sirens are going off. But anyways, these are kind of the tools you need. Some pliers, and then here is the 4-cycle engine oil I use, 10W30, and then Cat has a high pressure pump oil I use. Since it's a Cat pump, I use Cat pump oil. So it takes about 15 minutes to do. Obviously, you want the right amount in there for your engine, so obviously use the dipstick to determine how much oil you have in there, and your manual should tell you how much oil you need. There's usually a dot on the stick that shows you when you have enough oil. And then for the cat pumps, see that little dot right there? I don't know if you can see it well enough, but you want your oil level to be right at that dot. So you don't want it too high, believe me, because your pump won't work, or you don't want it too low, because then you'll burn up your pump. So you want your oil levels right there. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change the oil in the engine and the pump, and it should last me about a month, because I am starting to get pretty busy. And I'm just gonna show you how I do that. What's up, everybody? Scott Lett here. I'm about to show you how to change the oil for this power washer, the engine oil, and the pump oil. I got this 4-cycle engine oil, and then Cat makes a high pressure pump oil. This is what I'll be putting in the pump. So this stuff's really good. The pumps with 9 lives. Like, this really adds life to your pump. So a guy told me this is pretty comparable to synthetic oil you put in your car. Lasts longer and it does a really good job. So the Cat pumps are hard to beat. So all right, well, I'm gonna swap the oil out. I'm gonna fill those jugs right there with the old oil, and then I'll put the new oil in. So just kind of show y'all how I do things here. Start with the pump oil here. Let that drain out. Keep up with your nuts there. Well, that sounds funny, but you lose that, you're in some trouble. There's a red knob on the top of your pump. That's where you apply your oil. Just kind of keep that here. Yeah, it's going down pretty quick. I try not to do too much at once. You know, a lot of guys feel like would start on this and then hop over here and start working on the engine. I just like to do it slow, make sure I do it right, and it does take a little time to do this, but you're only as good as your equipment, so just gotta make sure you do it right. So I'm gonna let this drain out. But yeah, like I said, I try to do this, you know, winter and early spring, you're not too busy, but once March hits and then summer, you know, you're using these machines almost every day, hopefully, because you're busy enough. I like to change the oil, like I said, once a month. So, and that'll just add life to your machines. I mean, these machines aren't cheap, so taking, you know, a Saturday, Sunday, or even a day off during the week just to maintain these machines is important. And it's always good to have more than one machine. I have 3 because things happen. Things break, pumps go out, engines go out, and then what? Now you have to go to Home Depot and rent a machine. So it's good to have backups. It's good to maintain, and it's just good to know how to do this stuff. And that's why I'm trying to make these YouTube videos. Is for me, is a lot of trial and error, a lot of mistakes I've made, and it just takes time to learn how to do stuff and when to do things and what equipment to use. And I just want to be a help to you guys. So, see, we're getting close here. You want to have a funnel. You don't want to try to sit here and try to hit the hole. You'll make a mess. So it's good to have a funnel. Let's see, I actually have a couple different funnels. But see where we're at. All right, we're good to go. So what you want to do now? There's still still some coming out, but you want to put your nut back on your hose there. Tighten it pretty good. Get your high pressure pump oil. And then just kind of pour. There. Check my bubble. We're good. Put my red nozzle back on, or my cap, and I just hand tighten it. I've had a couple guys contact me because they try to use a wrench on this, and if you try to tighten it with a wrench too tight, it'll break it. So then you have to track down the right red cap to replace it with. So that's it for the pump. I didn't even use the whole bottle, maybe a half of it. Yeah, half of it. So, and then I can use the same jug, come over here, and do the same thing for the engine. So, grab my tools real quick. Go ahead and get that ready. Ooh, my hands are slippery. Same thing over here. Oh yeah, that oil is, it need to be changed. It was looking a little red, nasty. Yeah, the best oil to use for the Honda makes an oil for their small engines, and you can find it at Northern Tool. And I didn't buy it this time. I was at Walmart and picked this up. They're having a deal. But just like gas, you wanna put the top performing oil in your machine. So not every time, like for my machines, I only put premium gas in my machines because the better gas, the better oil you put in them, the better they're going to perform. So I try to do the same things for the power washing machines with the oil and gas. So the oil I'm going to put in here isn't bad, but it's not the best. Like I said, Honda makes an oil for their engines, and I'll probably do that next time. So I'll work through the month of probably May, end of May. I'll probably do the same thing, but I'll use that Honda pump oil. So let this drain out here. It takes a little while. And so on the back side over here, there's the dipstick, and like I said, in your manual, it'll tell you, how much oil you'll need, but your dipstick is the best indicator of making sure you have the proper amount of oil. So most dipsticks, if you look on there, it'll say here or up to here or whatever. There's a little indicator on there where to stop. There's little ridges on there, and it'll kind of show you how high your oil should go. You don't want it too low because then your engine will burn through that oil pretty quick. And you don't want too much because then your engine won't perform to its full capacity. And you'll be able to tell because it's going to be blowing a lot of smoke either way. So, but yeah, I want to say I put a full quart of oil in this particular engine. So, but we're slowing down here. Let's see. And it's important to get all the oil out. You don't want to do it halfway. You want to get it all out of there. So. It's really windy and there's dogs barking, so hopefully y'all can hear me well enough. All right, so that's pretty good there. You'll get your 4-cycle engine oil, funnel, same thing. Where'd I put that? And you're just gonna slowly pour it in there. quart in there. Let me clean off my dipstick real quick. Put your dipstick back in. Let it sit there for a second. And then check your dipstick. And if it's right where it needs to be. So there you go. That's how you change the oil. Make sure everything's on there tight. Just go around, make sure all your nuts are on there tight. That's how you do it, guys. If you want to maintain and you want your equipment to last a long time, keep the oil changed. If you want the best performance, make sure your oil's changed. So this is important. So you're only as good as your equipment. So comment below. Hope you like it. Hope it was helpful. And this is important. Hope you have a blessed day.